listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
Welcome to the White Wall Sessions Radio. I'm your host, Dan Schaefer. On tonight's show, part 2 of Feathered Mason, Beard, and Joe Kopel. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are now accepting submissions for Season 7. To submit, go to whitewallsessions.com. The White Wall Sessions would like to thank these fine sponsors for their support. Last Stop CD Shop, Bell Incorporated, Workplace IT Management, J. Rick Luthery, The University Center, Screen Flare, The Pink Moon Room, Club David, Great Outdoor Store, local branded convenience stores, Minuteman Press, Vishnu Bunny Tattoo and Piercing, and South Dakota Friends of Traditional Music. Feathered Mason is a stage moniker for singer-songwriter Eric Davis. Davis calls Nashville and Minneapolis home, and in 2017, he released Mary's Kitchen Sessions. Feathered Mason's raw, genuine guitar playing coupled nicely with his soulful voice and complex lyrics.
The answer is not in your rectangle, baby. Don't let your eyes flush that stuff down your brain. Don't let them spin their web upon you, baby. If it were cheap, Coca-Cola would still sell you that sweet cocaine. All that was sacred now has bubblegum stuck to it. Jack and Diane carved into every shrine. My hero's clothes worn by the mannequin, baby. You can hear her song sung every karaoke night. I don't want to live in a mausoleum. I can sleep when I'm in the urn, piled up napping in the ashes, baby, on your mantle close to where that old fire burns. Don't know what I'm doing, but I'll try. Life is a short thing, don't ask me why. Stay out of that noose, you know, the old silk necktie. Life is a short thing, no matter when we die. Yes, sir. Out here in the dim, dim light of nostalgia, on these tavern walls, don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm just a limbo boy. I'm just a limbo boy. Yes, I am. Yes, I go like this. So I'm out here in the mausoleum. I'm out to pasture, hear the clank of my urn. Cemetery's falling out of plots anyway. There ain't no grass to graze amongst all these old tombstones. What you doing down here in this boomtown, boy? Gonna get yourself lost in the waves. I'd turn around, cover your ass, run as fast as you can. The only vacancy here is the early grave. Too much nostalgia, too much charade, too much tribute all in my face. Stuck in limbo, you may never see me again. Biding my time in the mausoleum. Wasted in the dim, dim light of nostalgia on these tavern walls. Don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm just a limbo boy. I'm just a limbo boy. Wasted in the dim, dim light of nostalgia on these Legion walls. Yes, sir. Don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm just a limbo boy. I'm just a limbo boy. Let's go down again. Ooh, ooh. Thank you all. Thank you all so much.
So the style of music you're playing, did you seek it, or did it sort of find you, or was it mutual?
Yeah, it definitely, this style of music really found me at some point, because I my little journey with music was, I had my first probably musical mentors or influence was watching my uncles in France, and they're kind of folk musicians, and they're twin brothers, and they sing incredible harmony together, and so whether they sing a Bob Dylan song or whether they sing a French folk song, it's like it's done. They do it so well, and so that was really kind of set a bar for. Like immediately for me, but I kind of took when I got a guitar, it was an electric guitar, my first guitar, and my father loved electric guitar music, so I was into Billy Gibbons and Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin, all the Robin Trower, Tony Iommi, really fell deep in love with all of this big sounding music. But anyway, I got into banjo. In my 20s, and played a lot of bluegrass in Colorado, and so that was I kind of almost primarily played banjo, or almost exclusively played banjo, and when I got back to guitar, I was kind of different from that, so it kind of created a fingerstyle situation. So so a lot of my roots in the blues rock world and psychedelia. Kind of tangle with bluegrass and traditional bluegrass, and then back to old roots blues and stuff. So and folk music, Appalachian music. So it's kind of all found me actually.
Sure, yeah, because a lot of that, we see a lot of folk guys that have sort of even a metal background. They listen to metal when they were young, and all that sort of plays into the same type of thing, and it manifests through folk, probably because it's so personal and it's acoustic instrument and voice and whatever, extending to the audience.
Yes.
So when you're writing these songs, you have a lot of stories that are going on in these songs. You have a lot of stories about the song, and then the songs themselves are stories. Who are those stories about? Are they about experiences you have, or some fictional person?
Yeah, I think I write songs kind of from, as far as my protagonists and antagonists, characters in the songs are a little bit from a less literal. Their space, although they're kind of holding a space in my experience, but I feel like I'm writing a little bit out of a spiritual feeling of what those people, what that is going through, which is me, what I'm going through, but the way that really the spirit is feeling that. So I feel like that's kind of where I don't try to do that. It's just kind of the tendency of mine. So once I start finding the thread, it kind of ends up just being that way. And I look at it, I'm like, well, it's a little bit abstract, but there's a story there, there's a feeling and a story there. But I kind of like to say that I feel like I kind of write from that place, when you're about ready to wake up in the morning and you get and you're kind of running through stories in your mind of the day or yesterday or problems. I feel like I kind of am writing. So that's kind of where my little spot is, where I put together where I piece together some of the puzzle of the whole songwriting thing, it's kind of where I'm looking at in those times for one. So there's abstract things from like in your dreams, I got this new song I made, and it's got this dog I grew up with as a child. He kind of he's kind of in the character in my dream this whole time, and I was trying to write this other song. And there's this dog sitting, and his dog there. So he ends up, I end up putting him kind of as a character in the song. Wow. And the song's kind of told from his point of view. So it really kind of is a random, not random, but I kind of try and work in that. I try and work in that platform a little bit.
When you're in that abstract twilight place, and you feel that song, something's coming on, that idea, how do you capture that and get to the end?
Yeah. oh yeah, it's like fishing for like a really nice fish. You just you rarely catch, it's like you rarely catch them. If you could catch all those moments, my God, then you'd be John Prine.
Well, Grandma taught me methods old, Papa taught me cold and strong, and they declared me Mama's son. Mama's son could flounder near, Papa's son could wander far, down that corkscrew track in an old coal car. Well, that car smelt worse than fearful swine. Letters on the side read stolen time, and it stole my time down in that mine. Papa, he tried to beckon me nigh. I heard his lament, and then he followed behind, and then further apart I vanished into that mine. Yes, I did. Oh, Mama, be my anodyne. The men gave me an axe to grind. Well, they thought I'd just down the vine. Yes, they did. But here I stand for a while. Yes, I do now. Well, that governor greets me with a priggish grin. He says, your pay comes at this year's end. Then I look at those other men. It's all cold gray skin and lamplit eyes. 100 men all dissanctified. I'll be one of them, baby, by and by. Yes, I learned how they could expend a man, turn a man like me into Raggedy Ann. Purple captain with his upper whip hand. Yes, Grandma taught me these legends wise. Man's soul was all demonized, good men undersold 1,000-fold, Oh, Mama, be my anodyne. The men gave me an axe to grind. Well, they thought I'd just down the vine. Yes, they do. But here I stand for a while. Let me forget all that spoiled misuse. Pour some holy tonic on the old taproot and find me a woman so full of truth. 'Cause I get so tickled when I'm around them wise women. Wise women, I take it on the chin. I get so tickled when I'm around little Lisa Lynn. Wise women, I take it on the chin. I said, oh, Mama, be my anodyne. The men gave me an axe to grind. Oh, they thought I'd just down the vine. Yes, sir, now. But here I stand for a while. Oh, Mama, be my anodyne. The men gave me an axe to grind. Oh, they thought I'd just down the vine. But here I stand for a while. Yeah. Thank you all.
Coming up after the break, Beard.
You're listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
Beard visited the White Wall Sessions for Season 6 and put on a memorable performance. The band calls Vermilion, South Dakota home and consists of a group of educators, including a couple of University of South Dakota professors. Beard is Joe Raish, guitar and vocals, Jay Kirby, lead guitar, Amy Eskew, vocals and bass guitar, and Jeff Wessner on drums.
We play out when the sun's already down, and when we go out looking for something to do, and I should have known, but it sure felt like the truth. You got me, so I guess I have you. We call in sick and stay in bed all day, and when we go out looking to fill more than our bodies. Now I should have known this warmth was from the sun. I'll be back before this is done. And now it's calling me back again. I've got all this time to spend. I've got liquor to disconnect my head. I've got you, so I'm better off than dead. And here I am. We stay out until the lights come on, and when we get home we stand and stare at one another. Now I should have known, but it sure felt like the truth. You got me, did I ever have you? And now it's calling me back again. I've got all this time to spend. I've got liquor to disconnect my head. I've got you, so I'm better off than dead. And here I am. Now I should have known this warmth was from the sun. I'll be back before this is done. And now it's calling me back again. I've got all this time to spend. I've got liquor to disconnect my head. I've got you, so I'm better off than dead. And here I am. Here I am. Here I am. Here I am. Here I am.
Who writes the songs? Joe, the English professor, or Joe, the music fan, or a combination of both?
That's a good question. I would say probably more the music lover, because a lot of times I'll be heavily influenced by what I'm listening to at the time. And I like a lot of different types of genres, I guess. And so I'll be listening to something, I'll be really into it, and I'll sit down and I'll start writing something, and it'll remind me of whatever, Wilco, Avid Brothers, the Eels, something where it's not trying to ape what they're doing, but I'm trying to create the same type of, I don't know, atmosphere, same type of environment for that song. And so it's more just a guy who loves music. And I hear so many songs where I just think, if I could write one song that was that good, I would be happy, you know? And so I think it's a music lover trying to write one song that is that good. So the English professor, I mean, there's times where it's like...
he's on the website, the English professor.
Yeah, on the website, yes. I write a lot of long-winded, strange stories for the website, but the music is mostly the music lover.
So the rest of the band, when Joe first showed up with an acoustic guitar and you thought, well, a singer-songwriter, how then do you add your pieces? Because there were some great individual pieces going on here. I mean, I want to talk about them individually, but did he just start playing on an acoustic and you start finding your way, or did he say, it should go like this and this and this?
He'll bring a chord structure and some lyrics, and then we just kind of build around it. Usually starts with drums.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
The easy part is the song. Like we hear the songs, okay, that is a good song. I don't have to do much. I mean, everything's like, okay, figure out when to make an accent, and it's like for me, writing a song after I always like the ideas to hear them, and then writing the song is figuring out the dynamics. Like you don't need a beat if the beat's there. You need like accompaniment, right, for the song. So something has to kind of work for that. But that's what I try to fit in, and so that was very easy when we first started writing songs. It was like you can just kind of play the song and it's good enough by itself, so you don't have to like feel like you're making up for something, you know, whatever. And I think it's part of it is we all liked that kind of music that Joe brought, so that was easy to to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, these songs, I watched them happen, and drums particularly, and bass. You know, you can do sort of rhythm section, lock in, which you did. However, you added drama and maybe that's a bad thing, but you added this emphasis and drama and made this song happen a lot in your drums. Is that because you're listening to what the song is about, or the music, or both?
Well, yeah, I guess I'm not sure. I don't know if it's intentional necessarily, but I guess the way that I play, the way that I think that I play is that the music is going every little second is is not a decision. You're just kind of like trying to fill the space the perfect way, and so I think that our songs get tense, right? We've heard people say they're kind of like it can be a little on edge because it's whatever, and I don't know if that's intentional necessarily, but it's the way that I love getting lost in that song. And so that song is an eternity personally for me, and I think like every little second is a moment of like creation, creativity or whatever, and so maybe that's why that comes across. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, and that opens up all this space, particularly Amy. I got to talk about your bass because I thought the tone was amazing, and the way you played it is fantastic. So there's all this room for the bass in this band, it seems like, and you're taking every bit of it. Have you been playing bass for a long time and with other bands, or?
Well, I kind of self-taught when I was 18, freshman in college. My older brother played the bass and gave me his hand-me-down. I took it in my college room and learned the neck pretty much, but I didn't really. I played in a band in college, but it was kind of a bluegrass band. But probably about 5 years ago, I started playing in some cover bands just locally, and kind of, got a lot better and played around. And then when we started doing this with Joe's songs and the originals, it was kind of a whole new world. I'd never done that before. And I fell in love with it. It's a lot of fun. You find a lot of freedom and a lot of artistic creativity to go along with it.
for your mother in the spring on her birthday. Watch the arrow split the skin as the legs folded in. I felt the weight of my sin in front of me. The water is deep. The water is deep. The water is deep. The water is deep. But it's empty. Sung 10,000 understated melodies in your basement with the string wrapped tight. Since then, the river is wide. The river is wide. The river is wide. The river is wide. But it's harmless. Have you taken the pictures down? Started in on the memories. And have you told your side of the tale? Have you stared into a mirror and wondered if it was you? And are you ready for goodbye? 'Cause I'm having troubles with the syntax of things. Is it good or is it just fine? 'Cause it's been a long time since I said goodbye. Goodbye. Been a long time since I said goodbye. It's been a long time since I said goodbye. Been a long time since I said goodbye. Been a long time since I said goodbye. Goodbye.
Coming up after the break, Joe Kopel.
You're listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.
Joe Kopel brought his dynamic trio of Americana goodness to the White Wall Sessions and delivered a truly amazing performance. Kopel's enchanting vocals, mixed with cutting, poignant lyrics, entranced the audience and crew. Joe Kopel is Joe Kopel, guitar and vocals, August Ogren on drums, and Leng Moa on bass.
By the time we got to Woodstock, you were knocking on the door, and then we stumbled upon Whitman. Couldn't take it anymore. I guess we'll never know the reason why anything happens in its way. But you can just adjust the story as if it came that way. And now I'm going back to places where I have never been before. I've worn so many faces that I don't mind just one more. And if the car breaks down on me, I'll buy a new one with cash, and it will be just like the first one. Still be hard up on gas, and it's a miracle you found me in a place such as this. So many friends now have vanished. I was about ready to quit. Say the clothes make the man. Well, I might as well go and give me some. Just don't make me go shopping at the same stores as everyone. I've tried being useless, and I have tried helping out. And part of me's always floating, and part of me sticks to the ground. And the snake eats its tail. Soon as I had so much to offer, I found I had so little left to show. Maybe love is just a muscle and a role you learn to play. Don't tell me about magic. Don't tell me about fate. Don't tell me about courage. Will you just make me cry? You just get by on karma. and other ordinary lives. 'Cause you just get by on karma and other ordinary lives.
When you write a song, how do you find it? Do you like find something on the guitar and then it's got a personality and you write to that personality, or do you have a message you want to get across?
Yeah, I think it's a personality thing. I think music is so physical. You're in the room with each other, and I think that's really what's getting transmitted is whatever happens when people are really right next to each other, looking at each other. Obviously, you still listen to records when you're not in the same room, technically, as whoever's on the record, but you feel that presence there.
So is that where your music, these songs come from? Does it come really from you and a acoustic guitar sitting by yourself, or does it come when you're playing with the other guys?
The songs themselves, I think I aim for them to stand alone so that I can play them alone on an acoustic guitar, or someone else could play them on alone and take them to different places musically, maybe find a different genre or rhythm for it. But then it definitely, when you add the members of the band, any arrangement is gonna add different flavors. You're cooking with different oils there.
Yeah, definitely, and especially with these guys, Lang and August. Have you ever taken a song to them and they've sort of changed it or molded that song differently, or is it pretty much the same and they just add to it?
For sure. I mean, I think the whole record that I just put out has a large part to do with August and Lang, who I was playing with. Our whole live set right now, is based entirely on the fact that we're three guys with guitars and drums.
Sure. Well, there's a lot going on in those songs. I mean, we sit back and listen, and there's some of these words that are, or these phrases you're saying that are, really, really great. And then the tone of your guitar and the way these guys are playing them just really add that feel to those words. Does that come afterward, or does that come while you're writing it?
Yeah, that is all. I think when you're writing it, you get some of that, but I think because you have to play them so many times, and you want them to feel real each time, that's a skill in and of itself. That's just a performance skill. I think any actors or improv artists would tell you the same thing.
Mm. Mm-hmm. When you take these songs to the studio and you record with these guys, like your album Topic, is that the first album of this band?
Topics, yeah.
Yeah, Topics. Are they prepared and matured when you go into the studio, or do you have you ever done a song in the studio where it just happened and it turns out that way?
Yeah, it happened on at least several of the songs on the record. I know Let's was just a very folky acoustic guitar song, and then August and I were up really late, and we just turned up the amp and then we turned it into this dark, slow waltz.
Yeah, that was a cool song. Is a cool song, I should say. So some songs you take into the studio and you bring to the guys, and they sort of take a different direction and turn out to be something else. Does that happen often, or?
Yeah, you have to. Every time I get something in my head the way I want it to be, it can go south really fast it's just you have to work with what you got there,
sure.
And that's a skill in and of itself.
me all your money or I'm gonna starve. I promise I'm the real McCoy. The government's corrupt and they mean you harm. Or maybe I'm just paranoid. Bass and drum, peace and love, all night long, all night long. It's just so dumb. It's just so dumb.
The White Wall Sessions is recorded at Last Stop Studios in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and is produced by Spectrum Films Incorporated. Executive producers are Jeff Zuger, Doug Taylor, Greggy Johnson, and Jay Fishback. Head of broadcast is David Palmer. Associate producer is Mike Yeager. The White Wall Sessions Radio is produced and edited by Jeff Zuger. Audio recording and mixing by Kevin Phipps, Chad Conrad, August Ogren, and David Palmer. Scheduling and artist relations, Tom Eisner. Be sure to join us again next week. Same time, same place.
You're listening to the White Wall Sessions Radio.